and welcome back to Star Trek Season 2, Episode 5, The Apple, where it's been so long I'm getting tripped up with Doctor Who, which does seasons. No, series. Wait, where does my mouse go? God, it's been a while, and I forgot to unmute. Today, if you don't know what we're doing, we are basically going to be recording an audio commentary track live. So obviously, for legal reasons, I can't just stream an episode of Star Trek. So it's bring your own video, bring your own audio. There'll be a link in the description to Paramount Plus, Star Trek TOS, although anything should do. I'm using it Blu-ray. And in a little bit, we're going to do a countdown, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. On go, everyone hits play, and then we'll be synced up. And my voice is a little sore for some reason. That's weird. But yeah, it's been a while. I was busy. I don't remember why I missed one of the weeks, and then I had to do taxes. So that's why I missed the other week. But we're back with The Apple, an episode I don't remember much about. I know it's the one with the big snake. I know it's probably against religion, because, you know, it's TOS, it's The Apple, it's got a big snake. Put 2 and 2 together. But yeah, I honestly don't remember. I don't remember if it's good. I don't remember if it's bad. I don't think it's standout. I'd probably remember that. But yeah, I also don't think we've got any Star Trek news. It's been really dry since they canceled, like, all of their series. But no, Doctor Who coming up. We'll do the Doctor Who reviews, I think, in 2 weeks' time. We'll be doing Ncuti Gatwa 15th Doctor stuff on Sundays. We'll leave Star Trek on Saturdays, so that should be fine. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna get started. God, why is my throat so bad? Hopefully I have a good voice for tomorrow. As I said before, we'll do a countdown, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go, and on go, everyone hits play. Don't skip the intro, just start from the beginning, let everything play as normal. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Man, this stuff is a lot faster when I don't have to explain frame rates or all that junk with Doctor Who. How's my mic, actually? There you go. Oh, and I'm sorry I haven't done the fan home reviews of those model starships. I got the Enterprise F and the Elios, is it? I just haven't gotten around to it, but I've been meaning to. Might try and do it this weekend. It's been busy. Good lord, how many people do we need on this planet? How many red shirts are you gonna burn through? 1, 2, 3. There were like, what, 5 in the first one? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 people. This has got to be the biggest away team in history. Although, this is probably how a lot of away missions would go, right? Especially if there's something unusual going on. More than half the away team are security officers. I mean, sure, the top, like, 3 people in command are also the other half, but, you know. I think there are some planets like that. I don't know if they have atmospheres, though. Huh. Guess if you spin fast. I've said it before. I've always found it weird that they included Chekhov for, like, Russian, or I guess Soviet representation, whatever you'd want to call it. But they made him extraordinarily patriotic. It almost feels... It just feels a bit weird for me. I don't know. What an evolution of that plant, too. Poison blow darts to spread your seeds. Although, I guess, you'd have a source of, like, fertilizer or whatever in the corpse. Kirk, a man has died. Let's be serious. I also note they don't seem to know about the people who live on this planet. And, like, on the one hand, I guess how would you know if there were some tribes? In fact, I think this might be the only one. But they got life scanners and whatnot. They got future tech, right? I think we just kind of accept you can scan for life forms, you know? I do actually remember something about this episode, and that I really don't like how Kirk handles the end. I'll wait for it, because of course maybe my memory could always be wrong. Sometimes that happens. But when he's leaving, the way he kind of handles leaving the people on their own till the Federation diplomats or whatever you'd call them come over, always really bothers me. And I think it's horribly responsible, and it makes me think less of him as a person, let alone a captain. Nice planet, though. I like the red haze of the atmosphere. Oh, and it matches the sky. That's nice. I'm sorry someone's died, but I've got more important information. But, I mean, yes, to be fair, it's just funny. I think... How's my mic? I look a little low. Nope, other way. How about now? That's about right. So a man has died. Scott, a man has died! Would you really want, like, imagine you... I don't know, you were at work or whatever. And you heard it was, like, a very nice planet. You wanted to go. And then your boss calls up and is like, a man has died in the first, like, 5 minutes. And you're like, man, I'd really love a vacation down there. Just a stroll, you know? I didn't think the plants would kill me. Wait, that's Valerie? I thought it'd be the girl in the background. Was that like a last name or possibly more gender neutral? Or is this an attempt at like progressiveness for gender? Because I didn't think Rudenberry was like that when TOS was coming out. I remember reading that back in like TOS times, Gene Roddenberry was homophobic, but more in the sense of like not really ever being exposed to or like understanding it. But then through working on Star Trek and of course working with George Takei, he changed his ways. He was like, yeah, no, that's fine, whatever. And I remember it was a regret of his that he couldn't really add sort of LGBT progressive stuff into Star Trek back in the day. And of course, by the time TNG came around, he also had Berman to contend with, and then he was kind of losing control. I don't remember how long he had super strong control over TNG. Citation needed, obviously, but I think George Takei was my citation back in the day, but you know. And they just went back to looking at the flowers. Hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not what happened to the other two guys? One of them died, but I don't think they left with the body. Kirk was like, beam up the body. Not the body and 2 security guys. Are those cell things from the season 1 finale? Oh no, that's a rock. All right. It's been a while since high school science, but I don't I don't think specific gravity is something you can tell by just picking it up. However, I'm now thinking of the scenario where Spock broke them apart and everyone just blew up. I mean, let's be clear, Kirk, he did break that in half. Like, it's not that volatile. No one's gonna comment on the forks, though. This is the second one we've seen. I'm trying to figure out if it's supposed to invoke something, like a snake tongue, actually. That could be it. Stylistically. By the way, this is a really good set. I'm liking the plants. I like how they look believable but alien. I think when TOS does pretty overgrown, it's usually pretty good. And again, my mic. There we go. I must have recorded a Starship video or something. I am interested, though, in how much focus Scotty's getting beyond the others. I guess Chekhov is getting a decent amount of focus, even if he's one note. I mentioned before, I think they're making Star Trek a bit more of an ensemble piece with Season 2. I think they might actually be more just focusing on Scotty. Like, I don't know if they like the performance or whatever. Ah, man. I hate when this happens. Maybe we should have left when someone died. Security seems unconcerned, though. He had one job, but, you know. Can we also appreciate how much Bones is trying here with Spock? When I'm pretty sure he just looked at the other guy and went, he's dead. Oops. Nothing I can do. He's dead, but Spock. A man whose biology I claim to barely understand, despite being his doctor. I'll save him. Oh, I see. Just send him off alone. You know, this isn't a good episode for Kirk, I just have to say. Although, is that a female security officer? She's got a tricorder, which none of the other security officers has, but she does seem to be acting like security. I didn't think we ever got female security in TOS. But I don't know what else she'd be. Engineering? I've always... It's been a bit of a... I kind of want to say it bothers me, but in a way that doesn't bother me. Whenever those transporters don't work, that it's just kind of fine. They can half beam you up, and then the interference just gently puts you back. I don't know, has that ever kind of bothered anyone else? It's not real technology, so, like, I guess that's how it could work, but... Hey, Scotty, could you send a shuttle down? No? Oh, okay, I guess they're all down for maintenance. You know, I've never really thought about this before, but having your chief engineer be, like, third in command probably isn't great, because what happens in scenarios like this, where there's an engineering problem, but your chief engineer has to be the captain? There's his racism. That's right, it's not the medication that's the problem, it's Spock's race. That the medicine doesn't work, or rather, he doesn't work with the medicine. You can see why I don't like Bones. It's like, no, it's not that our society doesn't produce medicine for your alien physiology. It's that you're an alien, and that's wrong. Spock literally almost died. Let's establish this again, the scenarios. Would it? It's just like a big radar dish could, and some hacking software could probably do it. Your little comm badges, or communicators, I guess, could do it. Yeah, I've had that happen. Have you ever been out where, like, because I have, where there's a torrential downpour or whatever. Well done, brilliant. There's a torrential downpour or whatever, but it's kind of moving slowly. And so it's like sunny, beautiful summer day, and then like, bam, torrential downpour. And you can kind of watch it move along the ground. I've had that, and then I've had a case where like it was pouring down in our backyard, but not in our front yard, because that cloud line just happened to go right over our house. I think that's actually happened twice. So it's not aliens, it's just weather. I'm also noticing Kirk seems to do a lot more actual commanding in this episode. Even though I think he's bad at it. Like, he's constantly telling people to move around. The background cast is much more active. Everyone's armed. I would not be surprised if whoever wrote this one had some kind of military background, or at the very least wanted to emphasize this aspect of Starfleet. And again, brilliant work with the plants. I mean, I can tell some of them look plasticky, but, you know, the way I'm watching this is very different. It's quite good, even now. I'm starting to realize that I'm not in camouflage. I know that because of my math brain. That's my Spock impression. Oh, I guess... All right, I stand corrected. Totally different rock, but they are landmines. Should you imagine if, like, the Earth did really just produce landmines? I guess it's not totally infeasible. Although, if they really were that volatile, they'd have to be produced pretty quickly, or they'd keep exploding. Like, when it hailed, it would just explode, you know? The force of all the hail on the rocks. If you were cutting down a tree, you'd have to make sure it's not going to land on a rock. No, it really wasn't. Not the first one, possibly, but you could have just left. You maybe could have not separated everyone. You could have come back with environmental hazard suits. You literally could have prevented Spock being shot by noticing you were about to be shot. That's directly on you. I can appreciate what they're trying to do, though. I bet you really could have made this work with a slightly different scenario, or made it less clear that people were actually dying. Or had them try to leave right away, and that's when the transporter didn't work. Like, I'm sure you could have made this work. It just stands a little bit like, nah, no, you were grossly negligent and you should be fired because 3 people are dead. And it would be 4 if one of them didn't happen to be immune. I like Spock's idea of a version. And I love Chekhov's, There we go. Here, you know what? I'm starting to think they might even be called, like, Edenins or something. Something about the Garden of Eden. I mean, aside from his, like, sure, he may have had notice, but Kirk literally just punched this unarmed man. It's a weak showing for Kirk, let's just put it that way. I can't remember if those intend to get explained. They're a bit weird. But otherwise, given the limitation of the time, I think this is a good enough look. There's a cohesion. There's kind of the implication of a culture that's chosen to wear this. And I like the white hair. It goes good with the color scheme of the planet. It's a total violation of the Prime Directive, mind you, but it's fascinating. Is he gonna mind meld? Or just the face paint? Oh, those. Yeah, no, that is fascinating. Are you telling me Kirk didn't notice? The dim time. Are you like the first generation to worship Val? Sorry, the security officer picked up the gun off the ground. Does that imply that Kirk threw his gun away to punch the guy? Maybe he tossed it to show he was peaceful or whatever. I might have missed that. Also, look at all the red shirts on the bridge. What's up with that? I mean, I get they probably should be red shirts, but they're usually not. Because red's operations, right? For some reason, I always manage to remember what TNG yellow is, but I get mixed up with TOS red, even though they're like the same thing. Ah, there's some yellow. No Sulu, though. This is a bit of an odd reaction from Kirk. Wow. What is this? That's kind of weird. It's not bad, but I'm just used to like, find the way. You say it'll take 20 minutes, 20 minutes. You say it'll take like 2 hours, you have 6 minutes, and then they do it. But that's like, man, I guess we failed. You're fired moment. It's an interesting state, I guess, that Kirk is in. If the scenario was a bit better, I just a bit tweaking, I think you could have had a very strong episode. Gotta love the rock that just ends on the left side of the screen there. I carved him myself, are you proud? I do love the dramatic music sometimes. It's like it's a snake carved into a rock. I get it looks a bit menacing, but it's literally a rock. I mean, it's a nice carving. It's a bit paper mache. Honestly, it might have been better if it was smoother, because this is a carving, right? Like, it doesn't take a lot of technology to just make a rock smooth. Yep. I don't know why I walked into that one, Captain. He's having a rough day. He got shot. He got force field. Just wait here. Throw a rock. How do the pollinators get in the force field? I know you're not supposed to be thinking about that, but I'm just looking at the flowers in that bush by the mouth. I mean, you probably wouldn't have walked into it if it killed all the plants, but these are the kind of questions you gotta think about when you're designing an evil snakehead. I know, I've made plenty. And pollination is a big concern. That's a decent set, too, actually. Got a fair few huts. We've never encountered a replacement. We've never encountered a species that doesn't have children. Yeah. Oh, does this one also go with, like, asexuality bad? I mean, I guess your species would go extinct. If you just, but like, I don't know, maybe they want to. We'll get there. We'll get there. I'm waiting as well. I can't remember if they're established if these people live super long. Because you do kind of need some children pretty quick, because everyone looks about the same age. Although maybe they just do it like that. That kind of makes sense. Oh, an emotion. Who wrote this? I'm actually going to look up at this point, because there's so much unusualness. Star Trek. The apple. No one even called out Spock on the fact that he just used an emotion. Unless he said he meant he was physically uncomfortable, but still, I'd call him out on that. Story by Max Elrich. He wrote the story in Teleplay for the Apple. And that seems like it. That is not surprising. Maybe if I was in engineering, I'd be able to solve this, but not here. Within reason. I mean, I think I kind of get what he's saying, but, like, if my life was literally on the line, I would throw that rule book out the window, you know, after maybe trying the obvious. I think they do live ages then. I like the implication that he could tell how old any random alien is just by giving a quick scan. I guess. No vices. Kirk, they don't have sex. Like, they could be massive gambling addicts. You don't know. That fruit could be cocaine. They could all be high right now. It is the 60s. Oh, I do like this bit of music, though. I don't think we ever see inside Vol's head. Oh, I guess they're throwing it down a pit. So let's bear that in mind when someone does walk into it. But I like to imagine they're just sitting them next to, sitting that offering in front of an obvious computer terminal. Is that really the conclusion to draw from this? I mean, they're dropping food. That might imply a living being has asked for food. I like, as well, the people who happen to be throwing food in probably think they've just been cursed. Okay, Kirk, it's eating like a tribe's worth of fruit. That's not a lot of energy. I can see the steam coming out of its mouth. Are you sure it might not be geothermal? I don't know. I'd hope they'd have that number anyway. How much energy's being put against the ship. Look, I don't think you have to be hiding right now. I got to admit, as well. Man, I might have to Google reciprocity. I thought they were going to explain it. Oh, I see. Oh my gosh, an actual philosophical debate. I don't even know what's going on here. And it's paradise. You know who else really hasn't had much change or development in the past several hundred years? Vulcan. Or for that matter, Earth. In a way, you could say that's what your engineering department does, McCoy. Like, for all you know, they're fully aware of what this thing is. You don't even know what it does. What if it's keeping the planet together? We know there are, like, loads of quakes and stuff that are artificially generated. What if without those, the planet would explode? You don't know. Not to mention what'll happen if this thing is preventing disease from getting into the village, and then suddenly people with potentially thousands of years of no disease immunity suddenly experience disease. Say nothing of their crops. All right, let's ram the Enterprise into Vol. I've got our solution. Is that art on the background? Is this supposedly stagnating culture have culture? Shoutouts to the fruit still being, like, random colored cubes, like it is on the Enterprise. Oh, she's yeoman, not, security. Yes, they can. Go stab one. Exactly, thank you. Or they could just end, I guess, a society, but yes, you're right. What, you mean you... Alright, fine. Fine. Just say it! You're in the future. Say the word sex. Desires, sexual desires, libido, you want to say it? You see, yeoman. When an alien and an alien love each other very much. Just go ask them. Bones, you're literally a doctor. At least he did make the joke. He's like, yeoman, you're old enough. Wait a minute. Spock is a species that doesn't have any natural desires, yet still manages to replace itself. And you probably get it from, like, a book, you know? Hey, that's like the Ferengi's little bow. I'm a sucker for the little details in that, like a species. I've always loved the Ferengis. They do like their stand on one foot and make that diamond shape. It just helps the cultures feel a bit more real to me. Oh, I remember the point of this scene. It does feel weird to me, though, that this species could get, like, sexual desires totally out of the society for presumably hundreds, if not thousands of years. But then all it takes is, like, two of the people watching something like this. You're not telling me anyone ever, like, I don't know, fell down together and embraced. It wouldn't be cold. You get, like, the pottery scene, you know, where someone's working on a pot and someone comes from behind them. Like, what I'm saying is, biologically, I think these urges are still there. If you take a human and don't tell them anything about sex, when puberty hits, they'll still have desires. This is what I'm saying. I don't know, something about this performance from this guy is kind of funny to me. What's to be gained from a dance? Hang on. No, I really want to take a step back. I want to know how dancing is a functional place in this society to the point it came before gathering food. Do they believe in, like, rain dances or something? Because they literally have a snake god in the cliffside. That's fascinating to me. I never realized you were beautiful till I taught two other people doing something I didn't understand. Probably not, honestly. It's probably, like, wet and gross. It's like, why are they doing that? That's weird. I'm trying to recall how universal kissing was before, like, globalization. I know it's not literally universal, but I'm trying... it's hard for me to remember. Because, of course, by the time Western cultures would have encountered those cultures, you've encountered those cultures, you know? You're kind of spreading your ideas. The Americas would be an interesting case, though. I might look into that afterwards, because that's the sort of thing I'd do. Does the law explicitly forbid kissing? Because you knew about this then. I wonder if he like, how does he know what law was just broken? If the society doesn't know what kissing is, but he was able to recognize it as romance? Only the men, though. That's right. We have we're a gendered society. Is he about to demonstrate bashing a head in? On what I think might be one of the Horta eggs. Excuse me, what's kill? Oh good, they brought it up. These strangers are dangerous. However, I will explain the concept of murder. Wait, those are natural? I'm not sure you would believe that, but okay. Wait, why? We can't do it now. They won't see it coming. They're sleeping. That's unfair. Vol says we need to give them a chance. Hey, some hot rocks. A classic. I'm sorry, did you not see the art on the wall? Or the highly decorated table? Or for that matter, the clothes, or the floral arrangements, or the houses? I mean, those houses don't look pretty permanent to me. It's a jungle. It's gotta rain at some point, surely. Something's gotta decompose to be feeding these plants. Oh yeah, so let's ask them, right? Let's not just blow up their vol. When I think of choice, I think of someone destroying the option I'm living now, and then going, now you can choose. Not that option, though. We destroyed it. They're gathering with sticks, Captain. Yeah, look, there's literally a floral arrangement, a rice mat, there's the loads of rugs, there's literally art on that doorway. I see the painted pot, Kirk. It's painted with daisies and it's blue. Oh yeah, they dance, too. Not that you know that. You haven't actually bothered to learn about the society. Shoutouts to that Lower Decks episode where there's just like a benevolent computer, and they're like, yeah, this is fine. You built a society on a ring world and just have a nice computer. See? It rains. Spock's having a real bad day this one. He deserves a break next time. It's Mirror Mirror. He doesn't have to go to the Mirror Universe. Come to think of it, these forks just around the village are real dangerous. Like, what if you fall into one? You're just dead now. He's even acknowledging pain. Oh, they missed. Nicely done. Shoutouts. Wow, actually, yeah, she's the most capable fighter. That's nice to see from TOS. Whoever wrote this one, maybe it was the director, but whoever is responsible to this, they've got some new stuff I'm not really keen on that's not gelling, but I got some stuff like that that would have been very welcome in the series as a whole. I was wondering about that, too. Spock, remind me what Vulcan was like before Surak. More generally, that's always bothered me, is like, I've said it before, there's this weird element of the 60s shows I watch, Star Trek and Doctor Who, of humanity being just like constantly on the verge of murdering everyone in sight. And it's so far removed from like anything I see or feel. It's a uniquely 60s viewpoint in my experience. But it's very prevalent and just accepted. And I understand, you know, threat of imminent nuclear annihilation. But, like, you still have hippie communes and protesters, and, like, you have a lot of people who are against it. Damn. Too bad. Like, Kirk, please. I don't know if you have that authority. Yes, they will. No, not a warning sign. You're past the warning sign. He's weirdly unsure of himself. It's not necessarily bad, but it does feel a bit out of character compared to the rest of the series. I do like the guy in the back. He's like, it was worth a try. Freedom of choice and all that, you know? Maybe you should have tried that earlier. Kirk, isn't this massively illegal? Vol's cutting it a bit short. Just some fruits. That's all it takes. Why are we even burning coal, right? Just get like 6 apple trees. We're sorted. A whole society. I mean, I guess they mentioned those big rocks. Maybe they're feeding Val the explosive rocks? Because Spock brought up they'd be an energy source. I'll choose to believe that. I know that's a remastered effect right there. Pretty good. I don't remember what the original looked like, though. You probably could have done a version of this episode that's essentially a critique of America. Like, oh, rah, Team America World Police. It's like, yay, we've given you the freedom. I know we overthrew your last government, but now you have choice as long as it's ours, you know. Don't worry, we'll be back if you choose wrong. I don't know if that would have flied in the 60s, but you know, you probably could have. This is a sustained burst, wow. And I'm glad you got that at exactly the right moment. And man, looks like that did a number on the weather, but I'm sure these people will be fine. We didn't have to consider the consequences of our actions. Turns out this area is supposed to be underwater, and we're all gonna die now, you know? Yeah, but it's just irresponsible. But hey, they did it. They now have the power to choose between Vol and another way of life. I mean, you know, it might take them 50,000 years to develop that technology, but, you know, they've got choice. We did it, Patrick. We saved the city. But at a lower salary. Oh, well, that's a big deal. He literally did. He did. Oh, that sounds like choice to me, isn't it? No, there is. Agriculture's really hard. Just like the art you already had. Oh, I see. Asexuality's wrong, you know. I'm just gonna let the homophobic stuff slide. But we did it. We gave them the freedom of choice to live exactly like us, because as we all know, our way of life is objectively better. And there's the problem. I think they mentioned that they're gonna send people over. Let me paint this picture for you, right? Your society's just been liberated. You're playing around as you do. And then suddenly, for no unexplained reason, you're nauseous, your belly's growing like some sort of tumor, you feel awful. What do you think you'd do in this situation? Maybe trying to treat that? Maybe you should have warned them or at least told them the responsibility they're coming for. They can't plan. They don't know what to do about the children. Yes. I mean, just a few minutes ago, you were like really having an existential crisis about the 400 lives you've endangered and the 4 you got killed. So. Oh, but no, Spock has pointy ears, so he's the devil. Yeah, that's a bad. That's not just a bad one, that's a problematic one. Um, it had those good elements, seeing an actual capable yeoman. She was the most capable in that fight. She was acting just like the security officers, to the point where I thought she might have been a security officer. And you just don't get a female security officer in TOS. And maybe I'm forgetting one, but I don't recall one. I recall them always being like generic tough men. But yeah, they literally even went about the freedom of choice. And then they didn't say you now have the freedom to choose what you want at the end. The speech was, you can now live like us because that's how it's supposed to be. Our society is the natural order of things. You will learn this. You will do this. You will yada yada. It's like, hey, Kirk, that's not what choice sounds like. That's not the freedom of choice, Kirk. You literally blew up their way of life. That no one's gonna repair that. That's a bad. That if Lower Decks was still going, it could have done that. That like revisiting program it did, which I thought was such a great concept. Where they went back to the planet that was addicted to drugs. And they were like, yeah, no, things went to hell. This was bad. And I really like that narrative. You could almost make a series, even just philosophically, of like going to some of these older problematic episodes and being like, yeah, this is why this was bad. And you could actually properly explore the arguments. It's almost a rebuttal to other episodes. I thought it was a fantastic concept. And done right, it could really be good. And there'd probably be that episode where they countered an episode that was actually well argued and right. That'd be infamous. But, that was bad. Nope, that one was bad. And I think I've exhausted why. Next week, we've got Mirror Mirror. Of course, a classic episode. Afterwards, let's see. So Mirror Mirror, the Deadly Years, where everyone gets old. Mud, we got some more Mud. Oh, and then the Tribble episode in about a month's time. Some good ones. Bread and Circuses, Journey to Babel. Private Little War, just the depressing one. I've had a realization, speaking of the depressing one. So I don't know how broadly I'll expend this, but I don't believe I'm going to be covering every episode of TOS, right? Because over in season 3, I think it is. Yeah, The Cloud Miners, season 3, episode 19. The last time I watched this one is, it's just COVID. That's what it is. My wife and I watched it like 2020 or something. And it's literally about Kirk trying to convince some anti-maskers to wear the mask that'll save their society, while simultaneously trying to convince the government that the invisible gas exists, but they don't believe it and also won't wear the masks because they can't see the gas, therefore it doesn't exist. And we just kind of watched it with a stunned silence the whole time, and we're like, welp, that was an episode. And I don't know how I could review that one in any other way. So I don't know. That I've almost feel like I've crossed the bridge of not watching every episode. There's another one. I mentioned A Private Little War. I think this is the one I'm thinking of, where the episode is just Kirk. Yeah, here it looks like it's Private Little War. Kirk and some Klingons go to a planet and ruin it. That's the episode. That's how it ends. It's just kind of it's just depressing. But we'll see how things go. The goal was to do every episode. I mean, admittedly, I probably would have skipped Shades of Grey, come to think of it. But we'll see. I don't know. I'll keep doing this as much as it's interesting, as long as it's interesting. I know I'm definitely enjoying the stuff I do with Caden more on Doctor Who. I think having someone to bounce off of is working really well. I think the pacing's also helpful. So maybe more modern Star Treks. I mean, the movies of TNG would solve this issue. But we'll see. For now, I think I'm still committed to finishing TOS. But we probably skip the Cloud Miners, maybe A Private Little War. Because the original inception with these was it's like covered Star Trek. It did a lot of the modern things. People might want to know my thoughts on the original ones, and I also wanted to cover them. But doing full-on reviews on the older episodes I already seen just wasn't me. I wouldn't really want to do that. It wouldn't work the same, and so that's why I do these watch-alongs. But I don't really do Star Trek visual videos like I used to. It's more now for their own sake, and I mean, even the next video I do will probably be that Doctor Who ranking one. It won't even be Star Trek. It's just with modern Star Trek, honestly, not even being bad, just being the way that it is, I feel like I don't really have the drive to do those kind of Star Trek deep dive analysis, you know? But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, as long as this is interesting, I'm sure I'll keep doing it. So yeah, with that, I will say thank you all very much for watching. And I'll see you next time.